And my wife turned to me and said, "What are you puzzled over?" She said, "For Christ's sake, you were a Navy SEAL for 6 years and wrestled for 15 and you're wondering why you wore something out?" She made a good point, you know. Yes, sir, right there.
I was in the Reform Party in 1998, and you shocked the world like Muhammad Ali did before. I was wondering how you feel about the possibility of a third party developing against with the United case where, you know, they open money.
Well, that's a good point, but I now stand in a different position. I'm probably the highest elected third party person in the nation, but I no longer support the third party movement. Let me explain why. The Democrats and Republicans have destroyed the system so bad, and it is so horrible, that in which any third party to survive is going to have to be like them and play the broken game of what it is. You've already got a two-headed monster. Why would you want a three-headed one? I now support the abolishment of all political parties. There's two simple things we can do. How about ballots that don't list political parties, just names? It's too easy to walk in and be ignorant and go, well, I'm conservative, Republican, Republican, Republican. You don't even know their names. Or if I'm liberal, Dem, 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 Dem. No parties on the ballots. And here's the best one. And I know it'll laugh at first. You're going to laugh at this. But let me explain. On every local, state, and federal ballot, we need to pass a law that gives you the option at the bottom, none of the above. What none of the above would mean is a no confidence in government vote. And I'm willing to bet you that in certain elections, none of the above would win. Now, imagine from what big step this would be. Let's say you ran for the Congress and you won, but you lost to none of the above. Because you still got to send someone to Congress, right? Somebody got to go. So that would be a case where the second vote getter would go, because we all know none of the above, there's no one. But imagine when you got to Congress and you had that over your head, that, you know, I lost to none of the above. Wouldn't that kind of change your way of thinking a little? Wouldn't it kind of open your mind up to say, you know, I better reevaluate what I stand for? So those two simple things could accomplish mountainous things. Let's get none of the above on every ballot to where we have the freedom to take a vote of no confidence in our government. It won't hurt anything. It'll help things. Yes, sir, right there. No, the person with the hat.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Listen to everything you said this afternoon about the wars. Have you ever heard of anyone tell you before, it seems like after every census, that's when they go to war? Because it's like cleaning out the cities?
I've never looked at it quite like that before. I guess I've never timed it that the wars happen right at the census. But I guess 2001, 2011, well, the most recent ones, yeah. I don't know, you know, if it goes that deep or not. I don't think they really do it because of the census. I think that maybe it's just a weird timing. Maybe, I don't know. Something to think about, though.
Well, that's not research. That's from the hood.
Okay. Well, I understand. You know, you might be. And I'll tell you what else we need to do. We need to bring back the draft.
Yeah.
Now, I say this with a heavy heart because at the end of Vietnam, I worked in the Stop the Draft movement. But the idea of a professional military, we all get kind of easy going and we all think, well, they all volunteered. It's their job. It's our job not to put them in harm's way, whether they are volunteers or not. It's our job to be vigilant and only put them in harm's way if our country is directly in jeopardy. And that's our job. Big of you, you know. But that's the selfishness we have in this country. We go to war, but I don't want to pay for it. Let me say this to each and every one in the room here. when your country goes to war, everyone in the country should feel some pain. Everyone should feel, and that's the problem. We're not feeling no pain over these wars. We need to feel some pain. And getting back to quickly on the draft thing, the reason the draft now will help stop wars is because when little Johnny don't want to go, and little Johnny's forced to go, and then 6 months later little Johnny comes home to the neighborhood in a body bag, that hits. That hits home in the neighborhoods. And that's what happened in Vietnam that led to us protesting and getting out of that war. The problem today is little Johnny ain't getting drafted and ain't coming home in a body bag. It's all brave people who have volunteered to go, and we forget to realize that they may have volunteered, but as I said earlier, it's our job to keep them out of harm's way unless it's necessary. Oh, by the way, here's one I hope you'll like. If I became president, I would stop the United States empire around the world. I would close all foreign military bases and bring our young men and women home. Across the world. Across the world. There is no reason that we have, I mean, imagine for a moment, Hugo Chavez, the head of Venezuela, he's got a lot of money, he nationalized the oil, he kicked out Exxon, that's why we hate him. You know, it's the only reason. And, but Hugo's got a lot of dough. Imagine if he went, say, by Palm Springs and bought, 10,000 acres of land out in the desert there and built a base and moved the Venezuelan army in there. How would we feel about that? Of course we wouldn't stand for it. Of course we'd never let it happen. So where does the United States get off having bases throughout the world? That is the same thing as colonial, just under another name. Just under I would bring them all back home. And I love too when Congressman Paul, when they said on Iraq, well, we can't leave Iraq now, we're in there. And Congressman Paul said, wait a minute. We marched in, we can march out. It's as simple as that. What are we doing for time?
One more question.
One more question. Who's the lucky one going to be? Now it has to be somebody. You haven't asked one yet, right? Go ahead, sir. Just as long as you haven't asked one. I don't want no repeaters. Go ahead.
First of all, the criteria about Kennedy Club. How about all politicians?
Wait for the mic so everyone can hear you, then I don't have to repeat it. There we go.
How's it going, Jeff? You mentioned none of the above earlier. How about all politicians having to pass the course of logic, for one thing? How's that?
Well, let me state this. It's embarrassing. I live in Mexico half the year now, and it's embarrassing that Mexico does it, in my opinion, better than we do. Do you want to know how it works in Mexico? Yeah. The president gets 1 6-year term. Yeah. There are no re-elections. We need to make no re-elections. Let's switch to that here. Congress, Senate, President, you get 1 6-year term to go do the job. When you're done with 6 years, get the hell out and go back to what you used to do. That's why I only do 1 term. I did 1 term as mayor. I could have gotten re-elected when I was mayor of Brooklyn Park. You know how much I beat the 25-year incumbent? 67% to 33. But I only did 1 term. Governor, I could have been re-elected easily. I had the highest approval ratings in Minnesota history, 73% at one point. I only did 1 term. You set by example. If you talk the talk, you walk the walk. And I do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. By the way, it's not out of the question to have a wrestler be president either, because Abe Lincoln was a wrestler.